like I said, I didn't know. I was actually at home about to watch a movie with my wife, and got the phone call. So I had no idea. I just sent the team text about congratulations on the win against the Knicks, big win, and then looking forward to Tuesday's game against the Clippers as far as standing purposes. And then found out like an hour later I was no longer with the team.
So that was Anthony Davis basically talking about how he found out when he was traded, which the trade happened Sunday morning. Well, I don't know what time in LA, but it happened between the late evening and, of course, early morning here in the East Coast. And you said he was sitting at home with his wife about to watch a movie while his team won 128-112 in MSG, and LeBron getting a triple-double, doing what he does best when he's able to go at 40. Meanwhile, he's sitting at home about to watch a movie. So he was comfortably at home just chilling. Nowhere to be found in New York. And then he gets a call he's been traded. Now I want you guys to listen to Stephen A's clip, and then I'm going to start the show.
This move by the Dallas Mavericks has owners throughout the league celebrating because they're like, we want to remind you who the hell is really, really running the show. And you could be under contract. You can get your dollars. It can be guaranteed.
Nobody's safe.
But nobody is safe. And by sending that message, they're hoping that the power align.
So you heard Stephen A, and that was a very interesting take he had. And there's a lot to dissect with that, but there's a lot to look into that and say, yo, there's some realness in that. And there is. Some people say he might be egregious. Some people might say he's absolutely right. There's a lot in there that's true. Also, it's real. Let's be honest. Before we get to the trade, the game is out of hand right now. Let's be honest. There are guys that legitimately are sitting because they don't feel like they should play tonight. They feel like it's an off night. Maybe because the game is not intriguing, or it's just because they played last night and they're a little sore. There are guys like that legitimately, and I'm not telling you guys just from the optics. I'm telling you from a couple of scouts I've spoke to who are currently working in the NBA, who have told me that players have sat because they just don't feel like playing. That is crazy and egregious. You go spend $200 to sit second row. It's the only time you're going to be able to take your kid or your family to a game. And you're looking forward for this player to show up. And he's like, nah, he's not even sitting. He's staying at home watching movies with his wife like Anthony Davis. So now let me get to the trade. I'll be 100% honest. It shocked me, but I'm not like, wow. It shocked me because it happened on a Sunday. I'm like, Sunday trade? What's going on? What's happening here? But then I've had more than 72 hours to dissect it. I know a lot of people have lost their minds. They've gone crazy. A lot of Dallas fans are just losing it. If you've had a chance to go on social media or listen to the news or any other outlet at all, my gosh, Dallas fans are just going berserk over this. Laker fans are optimistic, but they're quiet, some of them, and some of them are like, is he really the answer? So on the Lakers side with the fans, it's mixed reviews, it's mixed feelings. On the Dallas side, it's absolutely just berserk mode. Let me give you my view on it. I feel that Dallas looked at LUKA and said, we are not paying you based on the fact you are not going to be available for a certain amount of games. There is a rule in the NBA, which if I'm trying to remember, it's called player participation. Yes, player participation policy. Google it, go read it up. I'm not going to sit here and spend any time explaining it. Player participation policy, which is absolutely pathetic. You have to develop something like that in order to make players eligible for national televised games, for awards. You think the players care about the awards? They don't care about that. If you make the contracts non-guaranteed contracts in the NBA, oh, I guarantee you that player participation policy wouldn't even be in effect. You wouldn't even need it. Go look at the NFL and their non-guaranteed contracts and all the incentives in order to get certain bonuses. You'll see how the NFL runs their business, whether you agree with it or not. What I am 100% agreeing is every player should get their money. Every player should get their money. Jimmy, Luka, Anthony Davis, LeBron, Chris Middleton, I don't care who you are. Get your money. You signed the contract. I don't care what you want to do. Pay them. They play 20 games or 80 games. You pay them because you gave them the money. And as the player, you get your money and do what you do best with your money, whatever you want to do with it. I'm about players getting paid. But at the same time, I got to see something. And with this Luka Anthony Davis trade, it speaks volumes on the landscape of the NBA. Number one, the owners are fed up of giving these ridiculous contracts and not seeing these guys play. Joel Embiid is a perfect example. He's played half of half, I think 400 missed games, 400 and something played or something like that. Owners are like, what? Nah, man. You don't think the owners sit down and have cocktails together and talk about this or send texts to each other? Of course they do. Nico Harrison had to get the okay from the two majority owners in order for this deal to happen. Because, by the way, folks, Mark Cuban is no longer the majority owner. He's a minority owner. So he has no say in this. Nico Harrison, I'm sure, whether he got the okay, I'm sure he did, spoke with the ownership before this happened and said, look, guys, this is what's going on. And ownership said, you know what? From a business standpoint, he's not a good investment. Most of these owners are not basketball guys. They're businessmen. So they look at things from a business perspective. And from a business perspective, yes, he's a draw. Yes, he brings in fans. But number one, is he going to bring us a championship? And number two, how many games a season is he going to play? That's where the money is for them. And they probably saw he wasn't a future investment at 25 years old and decided, you know what? He's got to go. So that's what they did. So as a basketball fan, I understand the basketball side and the business side. On the basketball side, are you out of your mind? On the business side, I understand. He lost $116 million by being traded. And he's got 1 year left on his deal with the Lakers. Anthony Davis, on the other hand, 31, he's kind of tailing at the end of his prime. Can he help Dallas get to an NBA Finals? Absolutely. If Anthony Davis could play like the number one pick he is, that he was, if he could give us a little bit of how he was in New Orleans when he played with DeMarcus Cousins, just in the playoffs, he can get you to an NBA Finals. Absolutely, 1,000%. He can get you to an NBA Finals. Don't get it twisted. So Anthony Davis has a little bit of an incentive now because this is not a bad basketball team. But at the end of the day, Kyrie Irving is the main ball carrier now. And Anthony Davis is a guy. They get somebody, I think they got somebody at center now. Anthony Davis goes to his natural four where he wants to be because he doesn't want to play the center position. And he could do what he needs to do. We'll see how that goes. As far as the Lakers are concerned with Luka, here's the question. What pieces are they going to put around him? Now, whether LeBron remains there or not, what pieces, defensive pieces, are they going to put around him? Because you could always find offense. Is J.J. Redick the long-term option? Because that Laker team that you see right now, ladies and gentlemen, is not winning anything. Absolutely nothing. But here's the bigger question. Is Luka going to sign the extension in the offseason? Maybe he'll test free agency. After what Dallas did to him, maybe he will test free agency. And should he test free agency? I think he should. I don't think the Lakers should be a long-term thing for him. That's just my opinion. And on top of that, he's going to be taxed 9% on his salary. He's going to get taxed out of his ASSS in LA. So there's a lot to consider. Is he going to sign the extension? We don't know. If he does, great. If he doesn't, well, hey. Next thing I want to talk about, Adam Silver talking about condensing the games to 10-minute quarters. How can you condense something when the players are barely playing the games? I'm very vocal about him because I feel like he's allowed this game to get out of control. From the game itself, to the player personnel, to the rules, to the structure of the fabric of what the NBA used to be. NBA used to be so watched, like even a Wednesday night game or a Thursday night on TNT or something like that. You watch it. Like now it's like, oh my gosh, what is this? And he's talking about, before you start talking about condensing things to 10 minutes, Adam Silver, please fix the fabric of the game, the structure of the game. Because right now, the structure of the game, it's absolutely not helpful at all. I didn't watch the game on February 1st between the Knicks and the Lakers. And the Knicks that's my squad. Right now, the Knicks are playing the Raptors right here in Toronto. And I'm not watching that. You know how many Knicks Raptors games I've been to in the past as a Knicks fan? And now I don't even care about it? Oh, I still support my Knicks. I still look at highlights and watch the games and stuff like, oh, I watch a lot of stuff. Not the games, but I watch the condensed games on YouTube. I just can't watch the game like that. Maybe the playoffs I'll be a little more intrigued with my Knicks as they try to win a championship. But as far as I'm concerned, like I can't watch the NBA for the structure it is in right now. So no. But let me get to the other topic here. Jimmy Butler apparently is rejecting trade offers that are being thrown at Miami. He's got a no trade clause. And I'm going to go after the owners and general managers again. It's on you guys because you guys are giving these guys no trade clauses. You think that's a smart business decision to give people no trade clauses? And then the worst part is the players, some of these players now, they're not going to report to these teams. Another Adam Silver issue too. So, Pat Riley, you put this situation in your hands. You want it to be the big dog? Fine. Now you figure it out. Jimmy wants what he wants. It's going to be a long-term battle, and that's it. So, like I said, Jimmy, do what you got to do. Pat, do what you got to do. This is not entertainment. This is a travesty. This is horrible for the game of basketball. Horrible. When you see a player hold out in the NFL, the games are going on still without that player. And most of these players that hold out, they don't play well after they come back. Just ask Le'Veon Bell and Hassan Riddick. They have no impact whatsoever. Although Hassan Riddick's in the Super Bowl right now, he has no impact. Has he really done anything? No. He hasn't. So I mean, it's just crazy right now what's going on, and I don't know, like what do you expect with this whole Jimmy Butler situation? Like it's not crazy. It's just, ladies and gentlemen, like what's going on here? Like, how do you expect somebody to, when somebody says they're not going to pay you, of course you're going to behave like that. It's just human nature. It's human. A lot of people are on Team Pat Riley. I'm on Team Reality. This is the reality of business. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, and that's where we are here right now. So that's it, So it is what it is. And my apologies, folks. It's not the Eagles. It's the Jets that he got traded to. He's a two-time Pro Bowler, second-team All-Pro 2022, if I'm correct. Hassan Riddick has done absolutely nothing since being signed by the Jets. And he held out. We all remember Le'Veon Bell, as I just mentioned earlier. So, it's whatever. Come on, guys. The game will go without you. Life will go without you. So, just remember that. But yeah, that's just that's my take on these things. I just think the NBA, and then of course the De'Aaron Fox trade. My take on that. Hey man, he picked a good organization to go to. He picked a good organization. He made a tough decision. He's going to have to learn how to play the game from a discipline standpoint. That's it. And I'm hoping that he does. And I just hope that he learns, because I mean, his reaction to Mike Brown getting fired was like, wow, like, really? It's like, oh, what? It's like, it was like, I mean, I'm okay. But it's like, you know what? It's whatever. That's how it was. It's like, whatever. Like, who gives a, who gives what, a poo? You know what I mean? Like, so at the end of the day, it looks like there's just a lot going on. And it's the NBA is the NBA. So you're going to see a lot go on and a lot of things happen within the next couple of days. I think the trade deadline is February 6th. So there's going to be a lot of things happening. So we'll see how that goes. But, it's looking very interesting going into how this is going to play out, Sacramento, I mean, I'll go back to Sacramento for a second. They were the Rochester Royals, then they became the Cincinnati Royals, and the Kansas City Omaha Kings, and then the Kansas City Kings, and then became the Sacramento Kings. And they've had a long, interesting, they've been around for a long time, and they've never really developed anything to say, their career record is 2,773 wins, 3,281 losses. That says it all. So I don't know what to tell you. So De'Aaron Fox making his exit it is what it is. DeRozan's now stuck there. What are they going to do with him? Is he going to be trade bait at the deadline? So we'll see how this goes. It's going to be interesting, but at the end of the day, it's a business. The owners are ready to take their power back in some way, form, or fashion. They're not going to get full power back until Adam Silver's gone. And I don't think it should be all power to the owners and all power to the players. I think there should be an understanding between players and between players and owners. And once that is put together and settled in a certain way, I think the game could be decent. It's never going to be the way it is. We are never going to get classic 80s, 90s, 2000 basketball again. Not with these type of players. The skill set's better, but not the mindset. But we could get something that's watchable. The key word is just, let's start with watchable basketball. Once we get to that, then we can go to the next level. So, folks, that's my quick take. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, no matter what. Thanks for listening again. Quick take. Peace.